the darkness surrounds us. It's time to light up the night. It's time for Zero Dark 30 with John.
Yay! Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Zero Dark 30 blasted out of the bunker. And folks, there's no respect. There's no respect for the law. Or wait a minute, maybe there's no respect for their law. So let's start with us. Let's start with the Republicans. Let's start with the conservatives. Let's start with the constitutionalists. We know what the other side wants. We know what the Democrats want. We know what the socialists want. We know what the liberal commies want. Their version of law and order. I'm doing 46, and some dude just did 90 by me. Like I'm standing still. That's incredible. All right. Whew. Don't see that every day. Speaking of no respect for the law. Oh, man. We know what their law is. It is lawlessness. It is worship of the state. That is their law. And we don't have any respect for it. Nor should we. Nor should we. Because they are nothing but lawless. They want a government that represents itself. They want a government that demands worship and obedience and has no respect for anyone else. Now, let's look at their side and what they see as our law. They have no respect for our law, which is, well, God's law. The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, our traditions, our culture, our belief systems, and our common faith. Common faith, that is the belief in a creator who has endowed us with inalienable rights. The rights of choice, freedom, etc. They have no respect for it. They piss on it, they crap on it, they spit on it, they lie about it. That is who they are, that is what they are. I thought about how to talk about this topic this morning after going over the news. I briefed myself and I thought, who are these people? And then I thought, wait a minute, do they even know what they're saying? And that became an even bigger question than the respect issue. It became an even bigger question. Do they even know? Do they even understand who and what they are? And I can't figure that one out. Because for the life of me, I keep asking the question, how can they see what they're doing? And willfully, willingly, intentionally lie about everything they represent as communists. And see the truth, the fact, real history, real law, and deny its existence and hate it so bad and be willing to lie and corrupt the entire language, the entire culture, our entire civilization for their political beliefs. Right? If I was forced to live in a democracy, I would have to deal with it because that would be the culture around me and the political climate. But we have a republic, something quite different. We have principles of democracy built into it. But the republic is built to guarantee our freedoms and liberty and to restrain government. So there is a bit of a difference there. So I listened to, of all people, Al Sharpton. I like to call him Sharpton because he's just got a mouthful of teeth. He's a fucking moron. Al Sharpton. He said one of the most idiotic things, but it was just part and parcel of who these people are. You see, can you imagine if, I can't remember exactly, this is a paraphrase of his quote, but you'll get the gist. Can you imagine if George Washington or Alexander Hamilton tried to overthrow the government to keep their power? He did say to keep their power. But he is a complete dunderhead. Let's just imagine, we'll just use his phrase, to keep their power. George Washington was offered kingship, which would have been absolute lifetime supreme power. And he denied it. So why would he have done that? Now let's just get rid of that idea and then go back and say, now listen, Sharpton. They just overthrew a government. That's how dumb these people are. Can you imagine if, what would it be like if these guys tried to overthrow a government? They did. It's called the American Revolution. They did overthrow a government. And they did so under lawful grounds. They passed a resolution. It was called the Declaration of Independence. That, folks, was a legal document because it was crafted and it was voted on. Now, does it make it a correct document? An absolute document? Yes and no. You could say that, yeah, philosophically it's accurate, but then someone could also argue philosophically it's not. Is it accurate or truthful or unimpeachable because it was signed by people who represented others? No, we can't say that those people were properly represented. Because someone could say, well, the guy I voted for lied to me. He was disingenuous about his true goals and principles. And then he signed that document, and I would have never, ever signed that document telling the king to go stuff in his ass. Well, quite interestingly, most people never will stand up to authority. So how could those people back then have done it? Individually, they never would have individually, but they would have, folks, if they could secretly do it. But when you sign a document, you put your name on it. You swear and attest to it. That is part of who you are. So interestingly, folks, we have a lot of dynamics at play. These liberals, these scumbags in DC, are signing rules and laws that violate our rights. They're attesting to it. They're swearing to it. They're telling us their belief systems. So whether they're ignorant or not, it actually doesn't matter anymore. This is what they're doing. They're destroying our country, and we have every right to both stop them, remove their authority, and put new protections in our place, or reestablish old protections. Now, I'm not calling for insurrection nor violence. I'm saying we have rights. Government has authority. That's what government has, authority and power, but we have rights. And there is a big distinction between the two. It needs to be reestablished. The roles, who plays what role? Who is master, who is servant? Those days are getting closer and fast. That's why I tell you, get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Those days are coming fast. There is no respect for our law, the people's law. You see, you, us older folks, definitely age 40 and older, grew up being educated with an understanding of law in our country. Therefore, we accepted it. We adopted it into our psyche. This is who we are. That's why they don't want to teach it in school. They don't want to teach the Constitution, law, critical thinking. They want to teach perverted idiocy and ignorance. And that's what those younger folks now who are being indoctrinated into that system, that's what they believe. That's what they believe, and therefore that's what they have adopted into their psyche. They have no respect for the law because they don't understand it. And every time a Democrat speaks, they're told that's what they're supposed to believe, so they do. So they do. And they become enemies of their own best interests and enemies of a true republic. At some point, you'll face these enemies with words or with weapons. And I don't envy you that day when you have to face that. Face your enemies, though, folks. You have to face them. You have to. Or they will defeat you. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. I'll see you the Friday free-for-all. Semper Fi, Godspeed.